What's up, humans, and what's up, familia? Welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Okay, so I got a couple of videos that I'm gonna do before I leave because I have to drive to Los Angeles today. So I'm gonna leave you with these videos. Before I continue with today's topic, I want to ask you to please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel keep moving along and keep growing. The algorithm loves it when you guys share it on other platforms, so I would really like it if you could do that too. Whatever you hear me talking about today, I would encourage you to also leave a comment on what your impressions are. You can also consider becoming a member if you like the content. That'd be really cool. And also, we are on every KGRA radio feed, so you can check us out there. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, I'm going to leave a few links in the description. Thank you for the support as always. Okay, so last December, I'm only getting time to do this because I have a lot of saved material that I haven't used for many videos. And one of these materials is a nearly 5-hour presentation that I have permission to use from my friend Alex Gomez Marin. He's a theoretical physicist. He's the director at the Pari Center in Italy. And he gave me the honor of being one of the presenters at Dr. Jacobo Grinberg's 30-year anniversary of his disappearance. And I was sharing the stage with people like Dr. Jeffrey Mishlove and a Brazilian researcher. She's a psychologist, behavioral psychologist, Marina Weiler, who her story is really interesting because she's been trying to investigate essentially matter materialization. And she's investigating a specific lady. Her name is Dona Edelarzil Munhoz Cardoso. That's her name. She is, I don't know if you can call her a sorceress or something like that, but she does events almost daily where a lot of people line up to get stuff materialized for them out of thin air in the small town near Sao Paulo called Botuporanga. I'm going to offer you guys some images there. But I got permission from Alex to give you guys Marina's entire presentation. So, in order to do that, first, I want to show you a couple of videos that I took from my friend and collaborator, Ida Cuellar, who directed the Jacobo Grinberg documentary, and it's currently on Netflix. And there are some parts of footage that he did not include in the documentary about Pachita. The reason I'm doing this link is because this lady, this Brazilian lady, has similar powers to the ones that Pachita was supposed to have and the ones that Jacobo Grinberg reported seeing with his own eyes. He saw Pachita materializing stuff out of thin air as well. And now this lady, Dona Edelarzil Munhoz Cardoso, she apparently has similar abilities. So I am going to show you Pachita right now.
I was able to see back surgeries, lung surgeries, vertebrae changes. They were very frequent, they were very common. Nowadays, you can't change a vertebra. How are you going to remove a vertebra like that? And what happens with all the nerve cord that goes through the center? You cut it and leave the person dead or immobile. You can't. Well, she did. She would remove a vertebra and put in another one, and with the handle of the knife, she would hit it so it would settle into place like a hammer. I remember that. That operation was very common. She operated on things that at that time were inoperable. She operated on lungs, she operated on the brain. She would open you up without any major complication. The patients, unlike in allopathic medicine, didn't die on her.
We went to the first visits for the preparations for surgeries and all that. And the night of the surgeries we arrived, and then Jacobo appeared. We were very surprised because no one knew where he was. But he had been there for a year working with Pachita. Every night, the surgeries, consultations, all that. And he helped us with everything that was the experience. It's unbelievable. Look, a friend had something with a vertebra in the middle of her back. Pachita took out her long knife, pointed it up and then down, and made a cut like that. No anesthesia, nothing. Everything opened by putting her hands, everything opened like that, and you could see the whole spine, the muscles, the veins, everything. And then Pachita took out the vertebra and passed it to the friend of the person being operated on and gave her another one and said, now you put it. So she grabbed the vertebra, put it in place, and Pachita tapped it in with her knife and it stayed in place. Then she put her hands and it closed by itself. Then she poured alcohol, and they wrapped her in a bed sheet and took her to another room on a dirt floor and left her there to rest.
For Jacobo, I feel it was a moment when he broke the science status quo, because he said, if traditional science is not enough to explain this, then what is it good for, right? He had to explain it somehow through his science and what he knows. So I think that was a key moment in Jacobo's life and his investigation that takes him to other worlds. So this theory that was brewing made him take the entire universe into consideration when trying to come up with it.
Precisely with the experiences with the shamans, he tried to make sense with many different agents of that Mexican shamanic world. He began to try to guide his scientific research until he developed a theory he called the Syntergic theory, which aimed to understand, well, the lack of spatial location of consciousness and mental phenomena in general terms.
This theory allows him to explain what I call miracles, right? I mean to say, why is there a miracle or healing? How does someone sick recover without the need of surgery or lab medicine? That would be the question. What happens there? So, I believe Grinberg's theory explains how that happens. He explains that in order for this miracle to take place, Grinberg speaks of a shaman's neuronal constitution in the shaman's brain that he believes operates in a sphere of high synergy. In other words, these are minds or brains operating at higher levels, he calls the lattice, a place where the brain is unified and operating in space and time. This is why Pachita can enter a body and even get stuff out of the body with such ease. She can enter a body, take something out and put something in the body. What's happening with the matter at that moment? That's what Jacobo is trying to explain with his theory.
I feel he was running a very ambitious investigation that could explain this interaction. Therefore, if there was this interaction between the universe and one brain, then there was interaction between all brains. In the same way that he thought of the night sky as a matrix, well, he felt all human brains were a matrix in a similar fashion. How could you prove your brain and my brain are connected?
Pachita proved to Jacobo that materializing things is possible in this dimension. She proved it was possible to think of a brain or a heart, and it was possible to materialize out of thin air. That is one level of materialization. But if what you look for is not form but just energy, then we are talking about the prototype. It means you can materialize energy out of thin air. It seems it's from thin air, but it's not. It's simply a higher point of reference. For instance, if I get on my computer and forget that I have an internet connection, I will think, this computer can materialize video or music. No, wait, it's just a higher connection to a wider net that we know as the internet. This happens throughout the universe. There's a mind in the great beyond from which you can materialize energy and shapes. Pachita helped Jacobo understand this. The cloud or the mountain and I are not really apart. It's all part of this grid of reality that men of knowledge can access. When I get to this connection with everything, and this is a profound wisdom from the Toltecs that claims that the self is a mirror of the universe, that's when you see capabilities that seem fantastical because don't feel relations with objects, but you are part of the universe. When I see a star, I am seeing it because the star is already within me. It is already a consciousness. Astrologers already know that the discovery of planets is not a technological achievement. You discover the cosmos when consciousness unifies.
It's really difficult to understand just how important this can be because we're talking about people who have the ability or the capability of just materializing stuff from nothing, which is not possible, not according to today's standards, not according to today's materialistic paradigm, but it is happening in Brazil still. And I would bet some money that it's happening in other places in the world. I am getting a hold of Marina so I can get her on the show so we can talk more deeply about this. But I think it's important to see her presentation from last December because not a lot of people have seen it. And I think it's really, really important that we get to see what she has investigated. She went there, she saw this with her own eyes. That's a first hand account of something that is supposed to be impossible. So, what do you guys think that is? I don't know. But without further ado, I'm going to leave you with Marina Weiler's presentation of Dona Edelarzil Munhoz Cardoso, the phenomenon of materialization in cotton. Here it is.
So next we have Marina Weiler. She's an assistant professor of psychiatry and neurobehavioral sciences at the Department of Perceptual Studies at the University of Virginia School of Medicine. Now, if I had to choose a place in the United States to do this kind of research, and what I mean by this kind, I mean research on what I now call impossible science, altered states of consciousness, edges of consciousness, and so on, I would choose DOPS, the Department of Perceptual Sciences, where Marina is. I've known Marina only recently. She's doing really amazing work there, and she's one of those, again, solid, rigorous woman who's daring to step into the unknown, and I'm very sure she'll be one of the great ones in the field. And I'm delighted that she accepted our invitation. Thank you, Marina, for being here. And the
Hi,
floor
Alex.
is
Wow,
yours.
thank you. Thank you so much for your words. That was very nice. Yeah, so let me share my screen here so you can see my PowerPoint. Okay. And as Alex mentioned, so I work at the Division of Perceptual Studies in University of Virginia, and we research extraordinary experiences, like what some people call anomalous experiences, but we actually like to call them extraordinary experiences. But I'm going to talk today a little bit about materialization and one of the most fascinating phenomena that I've already experienced. I think it has an important link with the work of Jacobo and when he researched Pachita, how Jeffrey Mishlove was talking before. And it was just so fascinating how she would do these spiritual healings and surgeries, like cut open. And I had the pleasure of meeting this lady from Brazil. She's called Edelarzil. And she does also spiritual healing and materialization like Pachita did. Although she doesn't cut open the patients with a knife, she's already performed like cancer surgeries and other type of extraordinary materialization phenomena. And I would like to share a little bit the experience that I've had. I visited Dona Edelarzil twice, and I'm about to go for the third time there. I'm very interested in writing a book about her biography and conducting more scientific controlled experiments with her. It's been a little hard so far because she has like a family firewall protecting her. She's almost 80 and she's very sick. Yeah, I've been trying to do some more close research with her for the past few months. It's been a little hard, but the phenomena itself is fascinating. So this is where Dona Edelarzil sees people. It's in the countryside of the state of São Paulo, in a little city called Votuporanga. It has less than 100,000 inhabitants. Dona Edelarzil, Dona is just a translation for Miss, so I'm gonna call her Dona Edelarzil. She's being able, a little bit about her history. She's being able to see her spirit guides since the age of 3. So everything started when she was very young. By the age of 5, she would have a line of people, like neighbors and patients, outside her house, and she was already prescribing medicines and for all these people looking with many different kinds of diseases. So this at the age of 5. When she was 8, that's when she started doing materializations. And the way it started, it's very interesting because she said that she would receive these people in her house, and she had this dedicated room that she would see 15 people at a time, and they would all come inside her house. And she was extremely poor, extremely poor. And then while she was doing the spiritual cleaning or cleansing, the objects would start falling from the ceiling. And many times there were like sharp objects that would cut people, like pieces of glass or scissors. Many times they were rusty and it was very dangerous. People would get hurt. So this started when she was 8. When she was around like early teenager, she stopped doing this type of materialization because one person specifically came to her house yelling why she wouldn't materialize just a wallet full of money for him. And according to her, the spirit guides got very upset, and a piece of glass, like very big, like a triangular piece of glass, materialized from the ceiling in this man's shoulder. And he had to go to the ICU, to the ER to get stitches. He eventually got 14 stitches and he was just bleeding a lot. So she got traumatized. And then eventually, when she was 17, her spirit guides taught her how to do this materialization in a more safe way. And that's how they guided her to do this using cotton. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna show to you how this, what's the current process of materialization. So she's still active, she's still doing this. Obviously, she sees less people. So when she was younger, she would see thousands and thousands of people a day. Now she sees only hundreds of people a day, and she's like 78, 79. So she's still holding on. This is a picture of some objects that she materialized. As you can see, all sorts of bones, big things, rusty chains, dolls, lots of candles, skulls. One thing that is interesting is that all of these objects, they're all very dirty. Many of them contain blood, but they are all dirty. So you can see here like a piece of cotton and a padlock. So amazing. And I'm going to explain how she does this materialization, just to show some more objects, a piece of porcelain and more bone and pieces of candles. A pig head. I had the pleasure of seeing her materializing a pig head. Not this one. I'm going to show you another picture later. A light, a chicken foot, metal, more candles. So you can see there are like all sort of different types of materials, sometimes alive animals, sometimes dead animals. You can see here a piece of belt, again, a piece of rope and another chain. Underwear, more bones with teeth, candles, more like a bra, rusty scissors, bone candles, like again, more belt, all of these objects she was able to materialize, and she does that in front of people. So I'm gonna skip this. So this is Shirley MacLaine. She visited Dona Edelarzil 3 times already. And Shirley MacLaine, she had a car accident when she was younger. And right after her car accident, this is the first time she went to Dona Edelarzil. This here at the right is a picture of Dona Edelarzil, I think when she was on her 40s. So this is a long time ago. She went to see Dona Edelarzil, and among the objects that she materialized in the cotton was a piece of a car brake. And according to Dona Edelarzil, this was the piece that was faulty in Shirley MacLaine's car, and that's why she had a car accident. And that was able to convince Shirley that the phenomena that Dona Edelarzil was doing was legit, and she went there 2 more times after that. So this is her Facebook page. It's called The Phenomenon of Cotton in Portuguese, and then Votuporanga, where the city where she sees people. This is the name of the place. It's called Casa Caminho e Luz. So it means house, path, and light. That's how it's called. It's a farm where she sees people and she receives people. And this currently, so this is 2023, first time I went to see her. And then 2024, a few months ago in August, I went to see her twice. So she doesn't see that many people nowadays. They don't allow buses anymore. So you can just enter her farm if you have like a private car. So that's a way that they found to control how many people are going there. Otherwise, she spends the entire night materializing objects for people. But like if you have like a car, you can still go to the farm and they won't stop you. So this is how the place looks like. You can see there is a door on the left and a door on the right. This is in the morning. Once you get there, you're going to talk to someone from her family, either her grandson or her son, and you're going to pay. It's like 50 reais, which is like $10, and you just pay for the pretty much for maintenance, bathroom and water and the cotton that they provide to you. And this is the room where they actually do the materialization, which happens in the afternoon. And inside the room on the left, you can see they have many, many boxes of cotton. This is her grandson giving instructions. And then once you go there and you tell, I'm here to do a materialization or a spiritual cleansing for myself or my mom, you can do for others, for other people that are not there physically. They give you one of the rolls of cotton for each person that is receiving the cleansing, the materialization. And these are more pictures of cotton in that room. And so you leave that room with this piece of cotton in a plastic bag. So if you're doing the cleaning for, let's say if it was for me and 3 more people, I would end up with 3 of these bags or 4 of these bags. And then the process is, that's how they advise you to do, you have to loosen up this cotton in very, very loose and small pieces until you end up with something like this. And while you are doing this process of loosening up and breaking into very small pieces, they advise you to be thinking about why are you there for, or just meditate and think about your life and your problems that you want to be fixed. And according to Dona Edelarzil, the spirit guides are already watching you, and that's when the process starts. And you are putting that energy into the cotton. So here are just some people doing this process of loosening up the cotton. This is the room where the materialization happens. You can see she's very Catholic, and she holds on a lot into the saints and Jesus Christ to make sense of her experience. This is the altar where she does materializations. So once people have loosened up all of the cotton, and these are dozens of people, you come inside this room, which is open all the time. The doors are never locked. And people start putting up their cotton into these big sieves. And then when after this is ready, she stands up here and she starts calling people one by one to stand up right next to her. And then she's going to ask you, who is this materialization for? And then you're going to say, this is for me or for my mom or my son. And then she starts the process of materialization. So here more pictures. This is where we sit up, we sit down. Once the entire process, the entire event starts, and we watch everything from the beginning to the end. So this is where the oops, let me go back. I have a I'm gonna show this video here. I just want to show the tank where the materialization occurs. There is nothing there. It's completely closed. There is only a drain, a very small drain where the water drains, and she need like the drain is there because she wets the cotton. And I'm gonna show in another picture. Inside here is just cotton and water. You can put your hands inside if you want. There is nothing outside. There is nowhere she could have come with those objects from anywhere else but from inside the cotton. She also pours some alcohol to clean the cotton. And once she does that, right in the beginning of the ceremony, there is this weird smell of rotten, of like dead animal or rotten eggs that is like very strong. And the first time I went there was this very, very strong of rotten and dead animal as soon as she poured the alcohol. And then the second time I went there wasn't so much of the smell, but as soon as she poured the alcohol, the entire cotton, not entire, but the base part of it turned into yellow. And that was very nice to see. So there's another movie showing. So this is a friend of mine. We went together. So after he loosened up the cotton, you just put pieces like in any sieve. There are many sieves there. And then I'm telling him, put your hand just to show people there's nothing. This is completely light. You can pick up the sieves and there is just cotton. It's like super light. There is nothing inside. There's another man here putting his cotton in another sieve. And then in the end of the morning, there's probably like 10 of these sieves full of cotton, where she is going to start the materialization in the afternoon. So she puts one of these sieves in this altar where there is the drain. And then she is, as I said, she's going to stand up here. I don't have any pictures of the materialization itself because they don't allow us anymore coming inside with cell phones, and they don't allow us to take pictures anymore. But there are videos and pictures of her materializing on the internet, so you can find them. I have some videos here, but I couldn't see. I couldn't record while I was there, but we are inside the room and we see everything happening. So she's gonna stand up here, pour some alcohol, and then she starts pouring water to make this thing wet. And then she's gonna call the first participant and say, approach. And then she's gonna say, who is this cleaning for? And then the person's gonna say, this is for me, holding the plastic bag. And then out of nowhere, she is gonna start pulling objects inside this cotton. And you can see it becoming dirt. and she says it becomes warm and hot and very compact. And out of nowhere, you can see a lot of dirt, sometimes blood, and then she just gives to whoever family member is here. She's just gonna give this full hand of objects, and then she puts inside your plastic bag, and then you leave. So some people are there some people are there to do the cleansing not only for themselves, but for um, thousands of other people. So she just does that cleaning for as many people as you want. Um, so this is the line outside, just before we go inside the ceremony. This is inside this room, and it says have a firm thought, concentrate your mind into your objective. And this is a picture of the objects she materialized for me first time I went there. So you can see here there's a piece of cotton with blood, some medicines, a black piece of ribbon with a knot. This is the object she materialized for my friend. And all of them have a meaning. And then once you are outside, and you see whatever objects she pulled out for you, another of her sons is there, and they help you through the meaning, and then they're gonna come and say, oh, this object means that she's clean this and that, or like this family problem, or whatever is happening in your financial situation, or this is something that need to be, you have this health issue that need to be cleansed. So all of these things, they have a different meaning that she was able to clean out of your life. So these are some pictures that I took from last time I went, so August, a few months ago. And I saw this in front of my eyes, materialization of this huge piece of rope and underwear. You can see here a glass of beer and many. So here there's a not on this picture, but you can see more cotton with blood, a piece of bone with teeth, a pig head, a huge pig head. And this is a real pig head. And as soon as the guy placed this outside, took out of the plastic bag, there were flies flying around, and this was just disgusting, and the smell was terrible. And right next to it, there is a piece of cotton with clot and blood clot. So this was completely disgusting. I didn't even want to touch it, but you could see the flies flying around. So another picture, another huge piece of like chain and all dirty, and this is a metal sign, more cloth. Here, this smell was horrible. This is a lot of cotton with pus or a pus. I don't know how to say that. That's why this is yellow. And this was the objects that she pulled out for me at the second time. So there were these two. You see how big they are. This is a plastic bag. These two huge dolls attached to each other, and they're facing back. So, and then it says here 2024. This was really creepy. You can see the faces of the doll. They were marked. They were drawn. And then also these like wine glass, and again they all have a different meanings, and I'm not going to go through the meanings, but after she does this type of spiritual cleansing, there is more things to be done, because she said that the spiritual cleaning, this is only the beginning. So um, uh, you need to do this prayer for 13 days, and she gives you they walk you through what you're supposed to do for 13 days to complete the cleaning. And this is very interesting because this is another common thing with Pachita, because Pachita says that the cleaning that she does, and similar to Dona Edelarzil, that the cleaning continues after the materialization. So the spirit guys keep working on you or the patient even after the materialization. So you need to engage the 13 days into these prayers to fully get rid of whatever you went there to get rid of. So this to me was very striking to see the similarities. And another thing that to me was very interesting is that I was the one of the very first people during this ceremony to receive the materialization. I think like 5 people went before me, but 5 people that had dozens of plastic bags, meaning that they went there to do the materialization for other people that were not physically there. And by the time I went outside, she had already materialized these 3 full plastic bags of objects. And by the time it was my time to go to the front to the altar, she had only used half of the cotton sieve. So using half of the cotton that was in a sieve, she was able to materialize objects that filled up 3 of these plastic bags. So it was amazing to go outside and see how much she had done. And they also give you a list of all the objects she can possibly materialize and the meaning of them. And I'm sorry, this is all in Portuguese, but this is just examples, some examples of the objects she's able to materialize. And yeah, thank you so much. It's really hard for me to talk about the cotton lady in only 15 minutes because I'm completely fascinated about what she does. And but I don't want to extend too much because I know it's late. So thank you so much, and I hope I can bring more. I hope I can really dedicate more time into what she's been doing, and bring you more results to the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Marina. I forgot I was in a Zoom call. I forgot I was in a Zoom call. Wow. And thank you for going there and observing it and documenting it firsthand. And we look forward to reading what you'll write about this and knowing more about it. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. So I left Alex's presentation and reaction to this because I was just as shocked. And the whole presentation about Greenberg, we saw a bunch of different things that, and heard about a bunch of different things that really are mind bending. But I would say this was one of the most incredible. Whether you want to believe that or not, I'm just presenting you with this information and this presentation from Ms. Weiler. You can do your own research into her, see her credentials, and make up your own mind. But I think it was important to let you guys know what this is and that this is still happening because before I saw Ms. Weiler presenting this, I only knew about Pachita doing this, but no, apparently there are more. And what does this mean? I would like to get your thoughts on it because if this is happening right now and people have this ability to do this, where does that come from? How does it function? How does it happen if it's indeed real? But as I told you, I'll let you guys decide. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know it's difficult to swallow for a lot of people. I know that a lot of people are instantly gonna try to call bullshit, but look into it by yourselves. I'm gonna leave all the links in the description so you guys can check it out. And yeah, this was a weird one. I know, but I had to do it because I think it's important. And I think we really need for more of this to keep coming out, because humans are way weirder than we initially imagined. And we do have skills that we don't know that we have them yet. We can't imagine what those skills are. Whenever you see some type of lore or ancient history where you hear about sorcerers or like witches and all that stuff, some of that may not be a myth. So just keep that in mind. Back in the day, there were people that were able to do things that today shouldn't be possible based on today's standards. And now we do have someone, and it's happening. So let me know what you think. And that's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay curious, stay inquisitive. Bye-bye.